Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. Joining me, as always, is the Lord of Puzzles, SDA.
Hi, guys.
And our special guest tonight, the Lord of Darkness, Stuttering Soliloquy.
Hi.
And I am your host, Scribe Light, the Lord of nothing, I guess. I was trying to come up with something new, but today's not the day. For those of you just joining us, Ranting Monkey will not be joining us tonight. He has some real life stuff that is keeping him away from the computer tonight. So it's just going to be me and two single women.
Yay.
I'm glad you're excited. Anyway, so how are you guys tonight?
I'm good.
Good. Tired. Good.
So Stuttering Soliloquy makes her debut here on the Lords of the Night. So Angie, for those of you that don't, for people who do not know who you are, why don't you tell us about your channel and what kind of content you make?
Well, I make all sorts of different content. Honestly, I make stuff on, well, recently I've been focusing on men's rights and those statistics, but I do things like current events, and then I do things like I've been trying to do more ideas and thought of like what kind of thoughts go behind this SJW mentality and this cult mentality and stuff like that. So I try to keep it psychological, like, because that's what I'm into, is psychology.
Okay. And I've had a question that are you actually a Satanist?
I don't necessarily use labels. Like, I've got a sigil of Baphomet.
Right.
And I definitely resonate with LaVeyan Satanism, but I wouldn't necessarily consider myself a full-blown Satanist.
Okay. I was just curious because I was, for a very, very brief time, and like a couple of weeks, I dabbled when I had a sort of a spiritual moment about 8 or 9 years ago. And I was like, I don't believe in religion, but maybe I'm missing something. And for like about 2 or 3 weeks, I dabbled in quote unquote Satanism. I read the Satanic Bible and stuff, and that was about as close as I ever got. And I was kind of like, there's some things in here that make sense, but then I didn't need this book to tell me that, so I just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, it's basically how it was for me. I read it when I really needed it, so that's why I got it tattooed on me. Otherwise, it'd have been pretty stupid.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, I look at tattoos as sort of like, depending on how you get them and what you get and where you get them, as sort of road markers in the road of life or something like that. So.
Right. They all have some meaning, whether you say they don't or not. Like, you got them for a reason.
Right. At least at that time. So,
right.
Anywho, do we have anything we want to talk about before we jump into the schnews? I'll take the quiet as a no. All right. So let's see. Our first story tonight, as per the title of the stream. Why not talk about Russia? Because we love Russia, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So let's see. Exclusive. And, of course, we're coming from CNN, which always makes exclusives about Russia. Mueller's team met with Russia dossier author. Special counsel Robert Mueller's investigators met this past summer. Well, I guess that was only a couple weeks back, with the former British spy whose dossier on alleged Russian efforts to aid the Trump campaign spawned months of investigations that have hobbled the Trump administration, according to two people familiar with the matter. Information from Christopher Steele. If that doesn't sound like a spy name, I don't know what does. A former MI6 officer could help investigators determine whether contacts between people associated with the Trump campaign and suspected Russian operatives broke any laws. Yeah, they're still not sure if any laws were broken. They're still not sure who did what, and we're almost a year into the presidency. And they were looking into this for like, the first 3 months before he even was inaugurated. So I don't know what they're hoping to find at this stage of the game, but CNN has learned that the FBI and the U.S. intelligence community last year took the Steele dossier more seriously than the agencies have publicly acknowledged. James Clapper, then the director of national intelligence, said in a January 2017 statement that the intelligence community had, quote, not made any judgment that the information in this document is reliable, unquote. Well, then, okay, so we're going to take a look at a document that we're pretty sure isn't reliable, but we're going to still make a federal case out of it, literally. Okay.
Well, that seems reasonable, I think. I think that is like the most reasonable thing you could possibly do.
Yeah, definitely reasonable.
Yeah, taxpayer money at work.
Shizzle.
And then they go into a recitation of the events that led up to the whole Russian investigation, the Comey stuff and the hacks or what they're supposed to. Anyways, nothing new really there. The investigation continues, and it's still every day that goes by that I see a story that says what they hope to find or what they think they're doing. It's just like, okay, when does this snipe hunt end? Because it's been a year, and anyway.
Am I roboting or is it Scribe?
Is it me stuttering?
Neither of you are roboting to me.
Okay.
It's probably me.
Well, I didn't hear you roboting, so I don't know.
Well, I heard you roboting, which is why I asked.
Okay. Well, let's see.
Let's hope my internet holds
Chat,
on.
if anybody's gone RoboCop on us, let us know. Let's see. Faith's Abdication says no robo. Lanny says didn't notice anything. Okay, so maybe it's just been a glitch on your side.
Yeah, if it happens again, I'll go reboot some stuff.
Sure. So next we have the NRA and bump stocks. So for those of you that don't know, a bump stock is an attachment you can put onto a semi-automatic gun or rifle in order for it to, this is the term I've been hearing, simulate automatic fire, which basically means automatic fire, but it doesn't make the gun mechanically able to fire automatically, except that it does. This is the kind of the weird gray area I've heard on the news and stuff. But anyway, the NRA apparently is not necessarily averse to seeing these things banned or restricted. And as CNN's wonderful editor-at-large, Chris Cillizza, who's never one to, of course, be anything but objective, he says, the NRA's strategic ploy on bump stocks, strategic ploy. A quick glance at the TV Thursday afternoon produced a bit of a stunner. The National Rifle Association announced its support of further regulations on bump stocks, the mechanism that Las Vegas shooter Stephen Paddock used to turn a semi-auto... What? Psst. What?
Hello.
What? Who is this? What are you doing here?
Why are you here? You were busy. God.
I was told there would be no monkey.
I decided to come hang out.
Okay. Well,
hi, Spunky.
I guess that's
hi,
okay.
guys.
Ow.
If you insist. I mean, I was trying to be the only guy with 2 single women, but now you fucked it up, dude.
It's all right, Scribe. If anything was going to happen, like Stuttering and I were going to get together, so you wouldn't have been involved.
No,
anyway.
I mean, monkey.
Yeah.
I left a sock on the door handle, dude. Come on.
Cock block. Anyway.
Cock blockers. All right. That's a product I'm going to make an ad for myself, because I always thought there'd be you ever see that TV show, The Third Wheel? It was like a dating game show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when I saw that show, I was like, no. I want to make a dating game show for HBO called Cock Blockers.
There was one called The Fifth Wheel where they had.
Oh God, really?
I never saw Third Wheel.
No. I'd make one called Cock Blockers, where it's like the really pretty girl and then her annoying friend, and then it's like, can the guy get around the annoying friend, and then if, whoever wins, basically, if she stops them from making the 2-backed beast, then she wins the competition. But if he lays her, then that's the winner for him.
Yeah.
And I just call it Cock Blockers. And then for the female side of things, when you got like a wingman that's trying to stop him from getting laid, I guess, which why would that happen? But I'd call that show Clamjackers. Okay, well, anyway, that's a complete tangent, but anyway, moving on. So I don't know how much you heard before you jumped on, but the NRA is apparently not necessarily opposed to restrictions on bump stocks. And Chris Sillis at CNN is calling this a ploy. Quote, the NRA believes that devices intended to allow semi-automatic rifles to function like fully automatic rifles should be subject to additional regulations, Wayne LaPierre and Chris Cox, the group's 2 leaders, said in a statement. In an increasingly dangerous world, the NRA remains focused on our mission, strengthening America's Second Amendment freedom to defend themselves, their families, and their communities. The NRA, as has been revealed through its many legislative victories on gun matters over the years, is not dumb. And the group's decision to be for further regulation of bump stocks is clearly a strategic move aimed at avoiding any more sweeping or comprehensive attempts at gun control. Sure. And
thank you, Timothy Seelbeck.
Oh, Timothy, thank you. Sorry. No Scribe, a bump stock just makes it easier to pull the trigger many times really fast. It still is 1 trigger per pull per bullet. Ad for cock blockers. Okay, well, I knew that was coming. All right, well, I've been waiting for that for years, Timothy. So I'll work on that between now and tomorrow. I've already basically got the ad written in my head because it's been a running joke.
Thank you, Cryptic.
Oh, thank you, Cryptic. P-Gate documentary movie starring Don Lemon as the what?
I don't even know what that means.
P-Gate. So that was the big rumor that Donald Trump had some like water sports extravaganza in Russia.
Power thing.
Sanguine's got some competition up in this business.
Oh my God, guys.
Sanguine, where you at, bro? Step it up.
P-Gate doc with Don Lemon as the mattress. That sounds like, and Jerry Mathers as the beaver.
As the mattress.
As the mattress. Okay, guys, I got those 2 down. Those are on the list for potentially tonight, but probably tomorrow because I want to put some thought into them. Anyway, moving on. Maybe the NRA is also motivated by genuine belief that bump stocks are a bad thing and need to be more regulated. But an organization as politically aware of itself as the NRA is never not keeping an eye on its politics. And then he starts comparing it to the other lobbying groups and things. And like, okay, so I guess the question is this just a cheap olive branch the NRA is offering for the sake of getting pressure off itself, or is it just the first step of many things, I guess?
Sounds like optics.
Yeah, it's not a loss to the availability of guns to say you can't have bump stocks.
Yeah, especially when nobody is... I've never heard anybody really in support of civilians owning fully automatic weapons. And while that doesn't make it fully automatic, it's close enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's functionally fully automatic.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's sort of like being a little pregnant. I mean, yes, okay, you have to pull the trigger a few more times, but that just, quote unquote, simulates fully automatic. So, and yeah, I mean, if they go for that, then yeah, it'll take pressure off of them. The thing that still bugs me, and it's not a matter of Second Amendment stuff, but I don't like that a private organization has so much sway over one issue.
Right.
I don't know if that bugs anybody else. It just really bugs me, but
How do you mean?
Well, the NRA isn't a governmental agency. It's
Correct.
not, but it's like the NRA is the first go-to place for opposition to anything. I mean, it's spoken of as a force of nature practically, or as almost as if it were a governmental agency, backing up the Second Amendment as in an official capacity, which it's not.
Right. That's the I can't remember what it's called right now. There is a part of a branch of like the government that's like the FBI and the DEA that's supposed to deal with the firearms.
The ATF. Yeah,
ATF. Thank you. And I think that they should be having more say than the NRA does, because it seems to make a little bit more sense that they're directly tied with the government rather than...
Yeah, but the ATF is just law enforcement. They're not legislative. But the NRA is almost treated like some sort of sub-legislative branch specifically on this issue, which is kind of my I mean, like I say, it's not that they're doing anything illegal or anything like unconstitutional. It just kind of bugs me that this one organization has such a stranglehold over the conversation every time that it comes up.
Right, like we should maybe form a group that can speak on guns and stuff that actually has ties with the government, works with the government.
Well, one would hope that the legislative branch does that for us, but
right. You would think.
Anyway, let's see. So aside from those two big things, something else that happened today, apparently, that's under the radar because of everything else going on. President Trump. Sorry, go ahead.
You have a super chat from Dark Azade.
Dark Shade. So the NRA is a bit like the Southern Poverty Law Center in terms of pull. I don't know that the SPLC actually has pull. I know that it is something that people lean on as a source of authority when it comes to extremist groups or as some sort of certification of what counts as a hate group. But even then, again, they're not the end all be all of anything. Like because the Southern Poverty Law Center won't classify Antifa as a hate group or BLM as a hate group, therefore they're not hate groups. I've heard that. I've literally heard that argument stated in several places, and I'm like, no.
And then you've got Point Curation.
Yep. I see that. Get a hold of Sinatra, start a competing group. Oh, is Sinatra an anti-NRA guy? I don't know what Sinatra's politics.
He's into guns.
Oh, he's into guns.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, so I'll try to keep one eye on the chat, of course. But so President Trump plans to decertify Iran nuclear deal next week, which is something that's supposedly been in the wings for a while now. President Donald Trump plans to decertify the Iran nuclear deal next week, declaring the Obama-era pact not in U.S. interests and launching a congressional review period on the accord, according to two senior U.S. officials. Trump is tentatively scheduled to unveil his plan during remarks a week from Thursday, though one official cautioned the timing could shift. Trump said Thursday that Iran has not lived up to the spirit of the deal. Well, that'll make Israel happy, I'm sure.
Apparently it's Skeptok's birthday.
What?
What?
What? Is it Skeptok's birthday?
That's the rumor in the chat there.
Oh, well, I don't know. What should we do about that?
I feel a song coming on.
Oh, before we get the song coming on, Timothy Seelbeck, thank you. I'm for civilian full auto ownership. I am not for people acting like total evil douchebags and killing people with them or any other weapon. Intro song for Lords of the Night based on Karn Evil number 9. I have no idea what that is, but I will look it up and I will see what I can do. You want me to sing?
Sounds like it.
Okay, Karn Evil number 9 intro song-ish. Okay, Timothy, I will. I got a couple of super chats here. One sec.
Yep.
All right, so I got that one on the list. Next, thank you, Point. But no, I jumped. But has Iran lived up to the art of the deal? Ha 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 ha. I don't know. That's probably behind closed doors. And thank you, Kingslayer Damocles. I don't watch live much, so here you go. Go, Eiley guys.
I love you guys.
Oh, I love you guys. Oh, sorry, I don't. I'm not hip with all the lingo because I'm old.
Iowa.
Kingslayer, did you have an ad request you wanted done? Let me know. I'll try to keep an eye on the chat. But anyway, so Skeptok's birthday is today, huh?
Seems to be.
All right. Well, Monkey, what shall we do?
La 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 la.
Oh, what's all that noise?
Oh, that's a busy road. I live on a busy road.
Okay. Well,
sorry.
Busy road. It's okay. Happy birthday
to you.
To you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Dear
Skeptok.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you.
you. Woo!
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday, Scott.
Okay, thank you, Timothy Seelbeck. Write the words. It's from Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. I still don't know what you mean, but I'll look it up. Sweeper Steven, thank you very much. Just have to show some love. And my ad, I want an action movie with Trump and Putin. Oh, man. Oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do. It just popped into my head. It just popped into my head. No, it's going to be however you say Boy Scout in Russian. It's going to be the last of those. Yeah, okay. Last. Trump and Putin. Okay. That is also on the list. And the ads that are already written and or paid for will be read during YouTube time. Okay. Yeah, so Trump's going to decertify the Iran deal.
Oh, thank you, Cryptic.
Oh, holy cow. Thank you, Cryptic. Movie about when an elephant falls in love with a donkey, but the donkey is just an ass and the elephant can't forget. What the? Okay, yeah, you really are trying to. You're like, I'm going to beat Cryptic at not Cryptic, Sanguine at his own game tonight. Okay, I got to copy all that text down because I'm not going to be able to remember all that. Okay, okay, that is whatever that is also on the list. Thank you, Kingslayer Damocles. Do one for Jeff Holiday. Ooh, okay. Okay, ad for Jeff Holiday. All right, I will see what I can do. And then also, thank you, Rotten Corpse, keeping up with how my ads have been. My ad is Guest's Choice. Okay, so, Angie, you can either pick just a random object, which would be a relatively simple ad, or you can follow suit with some of our favorite viewers and come up with some kind of convoluted thing, movie, whatever, for me to make an ad for when the time comes.
Adolf Hitler and Darth Vader meeting for the first time.
Okay.
I like her, Scribe. Can we keep her?
Corpse via Stuttering. Hitler and Vader go on a date. Okay, got it.
Is that a yes? We can keep her.
Well, it would be a group vote.
No,
it's we have we have an open relationship, so we all have to have a say in it. Anyway, I got two more stories real quick. One's kind of funny in the sort of hoisted on your own petard kind of way, but technically they count as potpourri. So SDA, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, so we have let's call it congressional hypocrisy, and I know, right? No, wait, but it gets better. It gets better. Or Harvey Weinstein.
The Jew.
The Jew. All right.
That could be Congress too.
Democrats pressured to return donations from Harvey Weinstein. Senator Patrick Leahy, Democrat of Vermont, plans to donate $5,600 in campaign contributions from Harvey Weinstein to charity after a New York Times report revealed multiple sexual harassment allegations against the filmmaker.
Oh.
The money is going to the Women's Fund at the Vermont Community Foundation, Leahy's campaign manager said. A New York Times report Thursday detailed several instances of alleged sexual harassment, including from actress Ashley Judd, who we know is a completely stable individual.
Indeed.
Not that necessarily means she's lying or something.
Who was she?
She's an actress.
One half of the Judds.
She was in Kiss the Girls. She
Long
was
Came a Spider.
Long Came a Spider. She's been in a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And she
I've
also
never
gave
heard of her.
She gave this crazy speech after Trump's inauguration, up there with like Madonna on the. It was the same stage that Madonna did her thing on, and then she went.
She also did a TEDx talk, didn't she?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, that's where I've seen her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
let's see.
If you haven't seen her TEDx talk, you should really check it out, Scribe. It's fucking hilarious. Just
I have such a sketchy relationship with TEDx, but I'll take a look.
oh, this won't make it any better.
I watch them like a hawk just to see what goes wrong.
I found one yesterday that I'm probably going to do a video on, but I won't say which one quite yet because I'm still working on it. Let's see. Women have been talking about Harvey amongst ourselves for a long time, and it's simply beyond time to have the conversation publicly, Judd said, according to the Times. In the wake of the report, the Republican National Committee released a statement calling on Democrats and the DNC to return his donations. Yes, because all the donations that Republicans receive are from complete angels. Quote, during 3 decades worth of sexual harassment allegations, Harvey Weinstein lined the pockets of Democrats to the tune of $750,000. If Democrats and the DNC truly stand up for women like they say they do, then returning this dirty money should be a no-brainer, RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel said in a statement. Yeah, well, whatever.
Hey, all money probably goes through a child molester at some point, so...
Circus Zero, thank you, Murderbox, and thank you all for the entertainment. Circus Zero, you sent yours on Twitter earlier, and I already have it written, so we're good to go. And I'll do that at YouTube time. And then our last sort of fun article before we get to MSS News, and this is the one that really made me laugh today. Anti-abortion representative Tim Murphy was reportedly pressuring his mistress to get an abortion.
Oh, no.
And resigns from Congress. Republican Representative Tim Murphy of Pennsylvania will resign from his position effective October 21st. Quote, this afternoon I received, and this is from Paul Ryan, this afternoon I received a letter of resignation from Congressman Tim Murphy. It was Dr. Murphy's decision to move on to the next chapter of his life, and I support it. We thank him for his many years of tireless work on mental health issues here in Congress and his service to the country as a Naval Reserve officer. Murphy had previously said he would not seek re-election at the end of his term. Local Pittsburgh CNN affiliate KDKA first reported the embattled lawmaker would retire after his term after reports surfaced on Tuesday alleging that the anti-abortion Republican urged a woman he was having an affair with to have an abortion.
Beautiful.
Quote, after discussions with my family and staff, yeah, your staff, I'm sure you had a discussion with it. I have come to the decision that I will not seek re-election to Congress at the end of my current term, Murphy said in a statement. In the coming weeks, I will take personal time to seek help as my family and I continue to work through our personal difficulties. Yeah.
I'm so tired of this seek help bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Help for what? Like, you just fucked a woman, you didn't want to get pregnant, and then she got pregnant, then you were like, hey, you fix that maybe?
You're slinking away in shame. You're not going to get help.
Mm-hmm.
Don't lie to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and what do you need help for? Yeah. What do you fucking need help for?
Mentally ill. You just fucked a bitch. Like, I'm sorry. This is just not a mental illness.
Oh, yeah, all you did was fuck up. And then, like, what? You're slinking away just so that people won't talk about your fuck up to you? Like,
Jack Cochran says it right. Seek help from a PR specialist.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you're not, because that's just it. It's like, yeah, cheating is a shitty thing to do, but it's not like you need help for like some freaking you're not like bipolar and had an episode. All right, calm down.
right.
I'm seeking medical advice from a spin doctor.
Well, and like the other girl now has to deal with the trauma of like being in an affair with someone thinking that he was into her, and then she gets pregnant and either she has to raise the child alone or she has to go through having an abortion, and neither of those, are good options.
Yeah, I mean, especially having an abortion when you really don't want to have one, it can be incredibly traumatic.
Right. I mean, it's just pisses me off when like the people, I guess, in the higher up positions, they get to take all that time off and they get to relax and drink wine and act like they're upset about it. But the people that are actually affected by it, like, you think she works a good job? She probably works a minimum wage job and she can't take time off to deal with all of this.
Well, it's just one of the more blatantly ironic sort of situations, an anti-abortion politician. So yeah, ran on family values. He certainly has them. Well, anyway, so let's do some MSS news for the next 15 or so. So chat, if you have news stories you'd like us to take a look at, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. We'll take a look at them all. Can't promise we'll get to all of them, but we'll definitely take a look. Let's see. Peterbilt says, I posted a good story close to SDA. Oh, yes, you did. Okay, so Peterbilt Nation sends us this one. Train crashes into Atlanta house, destroying it. That
Holy shit.
sucks. One of 9 cars on a train that derailed in northwest Atlanta early Thursday destroyed a house, trapping its occupant inside, rescue workers said. The man sleeping in its bedroom when the accident happened at around 3 a.m. Eastern time was taken to a local hospital. He had minor injuries and his name was not released. Well, if a train crashes into your house and you walk away with only minor injuries, that's lucky as hell. 14 cars on the northbound train, which was traveling from Waycross, Georgia to Cincinnati, were affected, CSX spokesman Rob Doolittle said. 9 were totally off the tracks and another 5 were partially derailed. They're still trying to determine what led to the derailment.
Did
the train
was broke?
No. Apparently, it was just thankfully it was just one big accident. The guy's house was destroyed. There's a picture of the house, and it's just completely bashed in. It's gone. But yeah, so good news, bad news. Nobody got hurt. Bad news, you got 9 cars of a train all scattered all over a residential area.
Yeah.
What do we have now?
You have a super chat.
Oh, do I? Oh, okay. Circus Zero, thank you. For Sarah Plyer, a Halloween candle. She sends hugs and kisses to everyone, but most of them to Lady Monkey. Okay, a Halloween candle. Okay, that's relatively simple. Deceptively simple. Are you sure there's not some kind of trap
Smells
to
like
this?
a dead monster.
Halloween candle. Okay, I'll have my work cut out for me between today and tomorrow. All right, what else we have? Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, this comes from Pinkalo the driver, or Eric the driver, or just the driver. Or you're going to play a video for me, aren't you? In my ears. No? Okay, good. Pontiac, Michigan. A suburban Detroit woman was handcuffed Wednesday and sent to jail for 7 days for failing to follow an agreement to have her 9-year-old son vaccinated. Wow. An Oakland County judge noted that Rebecca Bredow agreed to the immunization last November. Her ex-husband wanted their son vaccinated, but Bredow is the primary caregiver. Quote, I understand you love your children, but what I don't think you understand is that your son has 2 parents, and dad gets a say, said Judge Karen McDonald, who found Bredow in contempt of court. Wow. Let's see. Quote, it's clear to me that you don't care about orders even if you agree to them, which you did, the judge said. Your attorney signed that order. Bredow, a Ferndale resident, said she takes full responsibility for her actions. She said vaccinations go against her beliefs, and she should have raised her objections sooner. Well, you didn't, so goodbye. I'm a passionate mother who cares deeply about my children. Yeah, so much so you want them to get diseases and die. Okay.
Right.
Their health and their well-being. If my child was forced to be vaccinated, I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Why?
Well,
that's fucking okay.
Okay. Yep. Me. All right. Let's see. Next. Okay. Interesting. This gun comes from First Cynic. If it'll load, and it's thinking about it, and maybe it will. Okay. Night shift manager at Bronx McDonald's charged in cocaine sales to undercover officer inside the franchise.
Good job.
Bridget G. Brennan, New York City's special narcotics prosecutor, New York City Police Commissioner James P. O'Neill, Angela M. Melendez, special agent in charge of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Homeland Security Investigations, and Bronx District Attorney Darcel D. Clark. Today, all of them announced the arrest of Frank Guerrero, all in capital letters, on charges of criminal sale of a controlled substance, criminal possession of a controlled substance, criminally using drug paraphernalia, and unlawfully dealing with a child. Okay. What? I don't know. The arrest was the result of a 3-month undercover investigation dubbed Operation Off the Menu that involved the sale of cocaine and crack cocaine out of a McDonald's franchise located in the Bronx. Members of the ICE HSI Border Enforcement Security Task Force, which includes New York City Police Department detectives and ICE HSI agents, and good God, this is just a gangbang of alphabets. They arrested Guerrero at approximately 5 a.m. this morning inside of the McDonald's franchise. In the lead up to the arrest, Guerrero allegedly made 8 sales of cocaine to an undercover officer in increasingly larger quantities, amounting to nearly $10,900 worth of the drug. During the last and largest transaction, Guerrero sold roughly 100 grams of cocaine and a quantity of crack cocaine to an undercover officer for $6,520. The investigation revealed that Guerrero, a night shift manager at the 24-hour McDonald's franchise for at least 8 years, allegedly used his position as a cover for conducting narcotics transactions. What do you think? Although restaurant customers are only able to order at the drive-through window during the night shift, Guerrero allegedly gave special treatment to his drug customers, unlocking the front door and inviting them into the restaurant. Where's the child part of this?
Fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I had somebody do that at where I work. They worked for, first you have a super chat.
Yeah, I saw that. Miss Lim, thank you. Add death race option to fix Los Angeles traffic. Oh, Death Race 2000. You ever see Death Race 2000, Monkey?
I have not.
Yeah, so David Carradine and Sylvester Stallone in a post-apocalyptic sort of world where the game show is people running people over on the street.
Fun.
I know. Sorry, go ahead, Angie.
Oh, I was just saying, we had someone at the hotel that they were doing that. They were doing the preferential treatment and lying about payment and stuff like that and acting like they paid so that they could stay one more night so that they could get their drugs. And because of it, the police weren't able to, there was a sex trafficking ring.
Jesus.
And yeah, the police weren't able to completely nail the guy because he had given him drugs in exchange for him not using his name. So they weren't able to completely get him in court. So, and then there's another sex trafficking ring we're trying to bring down right now.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So
yeah.
you're a crime fighter.
You know what? It would seem that way. And then today I was a superhero. It felt pretty good to help out a girl. She was overdosing on meth. And people were making a spectacle of her. No one called the desk to let me know what was going on. And instead they're letting her wander around super high. She was naked, and she was like, no one was helping her really. They gave her some pants, but they just kind of watched her wander around. I called an ambulance for her, and she was in back, and everyone was gawking at her. And so I, grabbed her, and I said, hey, hoping she would respond to me, and she did, thankfully. I was like, do you want to go sit in the office with me in the AC? And I got her up there, and I held onto her arm, which was covered in meth sores. And I can tell you, if to get kids to not take drugs, it did have them touch a meth head's arm, because holy crap. But walked her to the office, and then when she was being examined by EMS and stuff, I kicked everybody out and told them to go away. And it wasn't the fact that I was helping her, it was the fact that I was making it so this wasn't as embarrassing for her. I don't know. Long story short, I work in a really fucked up place.
Sounds like it. Holy cow. Real quick.
You did have a super chat.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. Thank you, New Fate 26. Sorry, I can't stay for the rest of the stream. Internet is acting crazy and keeps cutting out on me. Hope rest of y'all's night goes smoother than mine. I hope so, too. New Fate, if you hear this later, tweet me with an ad request if you have one.
The audio is going weird, so I'm going to go reboot my computer, and I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. We'll do a couple more stories, and then we'll move on to YouTube time. What's this? Okay. Well, speaking of McDonald's, I guess that's just a theme tonight. First Cynic also sends us this one. Big Mac attack as McDonald's taunts Burger King. Okay.
Okay.
A gang, and the capital letters, a gang dressed as Ronald McDonald mascots took a bite out of the burger chain's rivals with a 5-minute face-off at Burger King. Passerby Nicky Jones videoed the clowns as they burst into the Burger King branch at Minehead, Somerset. I guess this is in Britain. And began chanting at cashiers. Footage shows the mob dressed in the distinctive yellow onesie and red hair, accompanied by Ronald's rival, the Hamburglar, chanting, "You're shit and you know you are."
What the fuck?
Good-natured Burger King staff shook hands with the clowns who were in fancy dress as part of a 1980s weekend. The fuck is going on in Britain? Quote, Nikki from Cardiff said, "We see the group every year and they're always up for a laugh. The whole restaurant was laughing along with them, including the cashiers." I wonder what would happen if that happened here.
Yeah.
I can imagine the internet outrage at that one or something. I could imagine it. But a 1980s day at Burger King? Okay.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Okay. Oh, here we go. We got to have at least one Florida man story. So this comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent, Colleen Bernier. I like saying that. Oh, God. Group sex during hurricane leads to a decomposing body in the closet, police say.
What the fuck?
I don't. Okay, please, tell me how we get from one to the other. Hollywood police, I'm assuming Hollywood, Florida, police have arrested one of the 2 men they believe responsible for Ariel Gonzalez's decomposing body being jammed into a closet of his blood and feces spattered apartment.
The fuck are we reading?
Ariel is a man, I assume, then. Travis Watson, 30, was released 3 months ago from a 13-year prison stay on burglary and grand theft charges. Still at large is Jacob Mitchell, who, according to police, beat Gonzalez with a hanger and a purple broomstick, then poured hot grease on his head. Okay. Mitchell, Watson told police, was mad at Gonzalez for engaging in anal sex with Watson.
Oh my God, this story.
Earlier, Mitchell participated with Gonzalez in having oral sex and giving oral sex to Watson. The sex and violence happened September 10th as Hurricane Irma approached. Okay, so the victim had sex with Watson in the butt after Watson and Mitchell sucked off Gonzalez. Gonzalez and Mitchell sucked off Watson. So they both sucked off Watson, then Gonzalez fucked Watson in the ass, and then Mitchell killed him with a hammer for fucking Watson in the ass. Okay, sure.
More complicated than I need my sex to be.
Mitch, do I want to read any more of this?
God, I hope you don't want to.
Yeah, no, that is a movie of the week right there. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
That is a horrible story, though.
That is horrible. Yeah.
Hey, let's tag this chick in the ass. No, we're only gonna lick her.
No, they're all men.
Oh, they were all men?
They're all men. Yeah, this is all men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I think so. Anyway, I don't know. I'm moving on. We'll do the last one here. Oh wait, an angry porn star in Miami. Okay, we'll do 2 more. Senior staff reporter Jack Cochran sends us this one, which is actually an update to a story that's become famous in the last few days. Student whose MAGA hat stolen presses charges. Thief's peers demand school protect her and pay her rent.
What?
UC Riverside student Matthew Vitale, who had his Make America Great Again hat taken from him by a fellow student, has decided to press criminal theft charges against her, he told the College Fix. Meanwhile, peers of the young Latina woman who swiped the hat, Edith Macias, have rallied to her defense, demanding the university protect her from any charges and even pay her rent in a solidarity document released October 1st.
Fuck that.
Fuck. How does the university protect her from being a thief?
Why? Why would they protect her?
I don't know. At issue is an incident last week in which Macias took the bright red MAGA hat right off Vitaly's head during a campus event, an incident that was recorded. The video was posted on Facebook by Macias, who states in her post, quote, "Make America great again, coded, continue the genocide of POC. You feel safe because you got the cops and politicians on your side. You're not safe just saying we need to make racists scared." Vitaly ran after her, demanding his hat back, another incident that was recorded. In this case, Vitaly was behind the camera as he exchanged words with Macias. She took the hat to the student life office and demanded he not be allowed to wear it. That 9-minute video was viewed by some 4.5 million people before it mysteriously disappeared off Facebook. Vitaly said he has since reposted it. Yeah, and then it goes on for a long time, but I'm waiting for this, okay. A UC Riverside spokesman did not respond to a request for comment from the College Fix on Monday about the status of the police investigation or the solidarity statement, which called the MAGA hat a, quote, symbol that has come to be associated with violently anti-immigrant white supremacist regime. Actually, it's come to be associated with people being assholes to people wearing the hat.
Mm-hmm.
The statement of solidarity with Edith Macias circulating within the campus community states, they have a copy of it? Oh boy, should I read that?
Oh, please.
Okay, it's a little lengthy. I might not read the whole thing, but I'll read some. To the University of California President Janet Napolitano. Oh, wait, why does that name sound familiar?
That was worked for Clinton.
That's right. The undersigned individuals and organizations write first to condemn the UC Riverside administration's tacit endorsement of the harassment, doxing, intimidation, and violent threats against UC Riverside student Edith Macias. She posted the video to her Facebook. I'm afraid to say, and this is me talking now, not the statement. She doxed herself. Sorry. Following an incident caught on video wherein Macias removed a MAGA hat, a symbol that has come to be associated with a violently anti-immigrant white supremacist regime, from another student's head, they and their family... Oh, she's non-binary. Okay.
Of course.
They and their family have been subjected to numerous abusive comments and threats of violence, including deportation and even death. These threats have come from far-right white supremacist media mouthpieces such as Milo Yiannopoulos, Tucker Carlson, and Ann Coulter, with extensive reach to conservative media outlets including Breitbart News and Fox News, placing Macias and their family in substantial danger. Second, we write to urge members of the UC administration to extend protections to Macias and others, particularly queer and trans students and workers of color facing similar violence. Thus far, UC Riverside and the UC Office of the President have failed to act substantially in the defense of Macias against racist harassment and violence. This silence runs contrary to a recent letter from the Chancellor's office, blah, 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 blah. Where's the part about the rent? I'm going to find the part about the rent. No, not current. I want the word rent. Rent? Oh, no, okay. Oh, okay, that's how they put it. On behalf of Macias and their family, in order to fulfill the UC's stated commitment to ensuring the protection of members of its community facing targeted threats of violence, the undersigned authors urge the UC administration to implement the following actions as soon as possible. 1. Subsidize alternate housing for Macias and their family.
Fuck her.
The University of California has increasingly allowed its campuses to be used as platforms for various alt-right white supremacist supporters to spread messages of hatred and violence. This climate has escalated doxing, and then they go into a long definition of what doxing is. Due to the increased escalation in these and related forms of harm, we demand the UC administration, including President Napolitano and Chancellor Wilcox, pay for alternative housing, accommodations for Macias and their family while simultaneously covering their current housing costs in order to keep them safe from threats of harm. Fuck you. Yeah. Okay, and here's the part that just boggles my mind. Sorry, what?
They just straight fuck you. But yeah, that's...
This is the part that I just love because, again, these are college students. Also, thank you, Dark Shade. Florida Man Mad Libs. Florida Man Mad Libs? Well, yeah, you could. Was that an ad request? I'm confused. I mean, I could do that.
I think it was.
I think so. Did I miss something? Like, I'm wondering if Noob Fate like left it up to someone. I don't know. Darkshade, either tweet me or otherwise I might miss it in here, or get me back on chat time because I'm not sure. Anyway, the second point is the one that I love the most because these are supposedly higher educated students. Number 2, and we mentioned this earlier, grant Machias amnesty and protection from any student or legal charges. The university can't do that.
Do they not understand how? Never mind.
No, they don't. They don't. Number 3, implement mental health accommodations for schoolwork.
What?
This is a short one. Because of the emotionally and physically taxing nature of this situation, we urge the UC Riverside administration, including Chancellor Wilcox and Assistant Dean of Students Ferrado, to support Machias through accommodations for late schoolwork and provide counseling free of charge in order to support their well-being during these times.
Oh, suck my dick.
I'm done.
Really?
I'm done. No more. I'm done with that. You guys, whoever wrote that, go eat it. Just eat it. And really, really lastly, one more from Colleen Bernier. Another Florida man story. An angry porn star told cops about a Miami drug ring. Now, a fugitive has surrendered. Okay. The last suspect in South Florida's most notorious synthetic drug ring returned voluntarily on Thursday after living on the lam as a personal trainer in Dubai. God, these all sound like movie plots. Josu Morales landed at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport and was immediately taken into custody by waiting U.S. Marshals and Homeland Security agents. Over the past 2 years, deputy marshals had tracked Morales to Mexico, Vietnam, China, and ultimately the United Arab Emirates, according to law enforcement sources. He was believed to have been fighting in an underground mixed martial arts ring in Dubai and working as a personal trainer there. Holy shit! He's like the dark reflection of Frank Dux from Bloodsport. What did he do? Okay, prosecutors say Morales helped run a large-scale drug ring alongside 2 tattooed bodybuilding ex-U.S. soldiers who employed beautiful women and a cast of Miami characters to import Molly and steroids from China. Write a movie for this! Holy shit!
That has to be a movie already.
Oh my God! I gotta keep this article because I know that someone's going to drop this on me as a movie trailer. I got to keep this because it's going to happen. I just know it now. Now that I've said that, I got to keep it for reference. Okay. Darkshade, I was commenting that the Florida man story sounded like it was made in a Mad Libs book, but an ad for it would be cool too. Okay, Dark.
Oh, here you go.
You have effectively bought an ad. So, Dark Shade, Florida man.
Okay, I got to roll a couple of smokes. I'll be right back.
Okay. Mad Libs. Okay. Well, that's enough news for now, guys. Thank you so much for the story. Sorry I didn't get to everything, but some of those just really took up some time. So now we'll go on to YouTube time. SDA, what have you been up to?
I haven't had a chance to make any videos, but so I'm probably going to try to make a video this weekend. But I'm going to hop on a stream with Sophane after this. So,
okay. Do you have any book clubs or Baywatch coming?
Yeah, we got Baywatch, and then I've got Baywatch on Saturday, and then I've got my Patreon stream. Tomorrow night.
And Captain Bramble's just paid to have me do a movie trailer about that story. Okay, guys, I will. Man, that's just crazy. Okay, I'm glad I saved the link, so I'll do that. Okay, Angie, what have you been working on lately, or what are you planning on working on?
Well, basically, I've been thinking about doing a series about the importance of men's rights. I'm going to have my boyfriend sit with me, and he's going to discuss some of what he's been kind of because he's been picked on his whole life about certain things, and certain things have happened to him, and kind of add that in as something important. And then I want to go through and do it as a series where I talk about certain issues and bring up statistics for those issues. And then I also want to do that that series where I explore the psychology of certain well-known social justice warriors and go through why they act the way that they act. It just as an experiment, you know, you shouldn't be handing out diagnoses over the internet, but this is going to, you know, not be me diagnosing them and thinking that I'm 100% right. It's just a hunch I might have, you know.
So you're going to be a social justice psychological profiler.
Yeah, and I thought it'd be interesting because, you know, you often find yourself wondering, why would this person do something like that? Why would you act like that? Well, I find myself wondering the same thing, and I thought it'd be interesting to do a series on that as well. And then I want to continue my Check Your Privilege series, which is basically where I go through individual privileges that we all might have, regardless of race or color. We each have certain advantages in our lives. So,
okay. Cool. Thank you, Romulan64. It's pronounced Macias. It's Spanish. I am a dumb gringo. Just so you know, I completely confess to it. So yeah, I know nothing about how to speak Spanish. So, but thank you for the correction. Monkey, what are you working on?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Rough couple of days. I will get back to it, but the video I had been working on is scrapped for now. So
okay,
we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, I have a couple of ads to read that were previously covered. So just two. And man, tomorrow's going to be quite the block. I've got a lot of work ahead of me on those. But the ones that had been previously covered, this was Circus Zero said he wanted a murder mystery movie involving a loot crate type situation. And for those of you that don't know, Loot Crate is this service where like once a month, it's sort of like Goodies of the Month Club. They send you a little box full of mystery items based on a theme monthly, and you get to open it up and ooh, I get like stuff. So here's that. Oh, something going on?
I don't know.
There's a lot of noise. I can't tell what's going on. Okay.
It might be me. Sorry.
Okay. And Squeaky Door makes an appearance.
Wasn't me. No, that's not my squeaky door this time.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. Okay. All right. So here we go. The internet is a vast expanse of excitement, mystery, and danger. So when four college friends come across a new monthly mystery box service, they're game to try it out. With each package, a new clue arrives, and the friends try to solve the puzzle as just a game. That is, until one of the clues is a photograph of one of their own. Get ready for a thriller with more suspense than any unboxing video you'll ever see. Prepared for the special delivery of Evidence Locker, directed by Circus Zero.
Well done.
If there was a service called Evidence Locker that was like a mystery thing, I think that would work.
Yeah.
And by the way, anybody who ends up stealing any of these ad ideas for actual products or anything, it's fine. Just, you know, give me credit somewhere. That's all. Just a little notation somewhere. And secondly, Point Curation ahead of the stream asked for an ad for overcoming substance addiction. So it's a relatively serious topic. I've tried to, you know, lighten it up a little bit. Alcohol, drugs, turtle caves. Many of us have our irresistible vices, and they can slowly eat away at our happiness and our lives if allowed to run unchecked. If you're struggling with your own demons, there is no shame in seeking help. That's why Point Curation Clinics offers its new program to help you overcome the temptations in life. Own the Jones, the new therapeutic program for strengthening your self-control and your outlook on life. So if you need help, You need to own the Jones. Warning, not affiliated in any way with Weibo Jones. Weibo Jones is a force of nature and cannot be owned merely tamed. All right,
Tame the Weibo.
Tame Weibo. And I have one more that's from Scotch, but I haven't heard from him yet on the stream tonight, so I'll hold on to that one for the time being. It was, well, Scotch by way of Mashitsu tweeting me, so I'll hold on to that one. But anyway, that's it for me for ads. As far as like stuff I'm working on, like I said earlier, I have a TEDx talk that I spotted yesterday or the day before that kind of caught my eye. Not quite sure yet. I'm going to work on it and we'll see. And then there's I talked about a new Vox video that came out the other day with our favorite Vox commentator who decides to educate us about the truth about Antifa. And that was all types of interesting. So I'll probably be working on that over the course of the next couple of days. And that, as they say, is all of my stuff. And we're right at the top of the hour. So BG asks, do you think you're man enough to tame Weibo Jones? Oh, I'm more than man enough to tame a woman that short. Do we have a deep topic?
No.
I've been asking people a lot, what do you think about self-diagnosing and people using depression to get brownie points or as an excuse for bad behavior when they don't actually have depression?
I think that I think even using that as an excuse when you do have it is a bunch of bullshit. I mean, because part of the way that you get better, especially from something like depression or even anxiety, is by modifying your behavior and being aware of why you behave the way that you do. I mean, that's just part of learning how to function. So it's bullshit even when it comes from people who are depressed. I mean, if you're an adult, act like a fucking adult. But I think self-diagnosis, I think being self-aware can help. I don't think that you can necessarily diagnose yourself, but I think going to your psychologist or something and being like, hey, I think I'm displaying these symptoms can be really helpful for your psychologist as well.
Yeah, it really depends on what you've got. No, it's not. It really depends on what you've got. I mean, if you're delusional or something, you might be, in all legal senses, out of control of yourself and that kind of thing. But just for, and I use this roughly like simple anxiety, depression. I know it's not simple.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, because obviously it's super complex mental disorders.
Anyway, yeah, being able to manage your symptoms by being aware of them, even if you haven't self-diagnosed down to like some kind of psychological handbook kind of thing, if you are self-aware enough, it may be the case that you act out under the influence, let's say, of anxiety or depression. I have in the past like lost it for a minute or two, but I've recognized it as soon as it happened, and I immediately pulled myself away, went into another room, you know, decompressed, calmed down, whatever I needed to do. It has happened, not very often, thankfully, but you know, it's a matter of you're not using it as a crutch. You're not using it as a crutch to act badly. It's not an excuse to say, oh, you know, I threw that thing at you because I was depressed and it's not my fault. No, it is your fault. It's your fault, and you have to get a clamp down on that somehow. And if you can't do it on your own, then you need to seek help.
I agree. Any thoughts, Monkey?
Any self-diagnosis worries me because it's kind of the thing, you know, people talk about. You know, I had a pain in my arm and I went on WebMD and found out I had ovarian cancer. You know, it's really easy for people to just assume they have things because it sounds like something that they might have had. So I anytime if it's not actually diagnosed, I have no time for it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's one thing to kind of, you know, Google your symptoms and stuff like that. But I think a lot of what bothers me is I see a lot of Tumblr posts that'll say, oh, well, biting the skin around your nails, that's a symptom of anxiety or whatever. And then they end up with these notions that because they do have certain behaviors, they have this disorder, and then they go to their psychiatrist and they know exactly which symptoms to present, even if those aren't symptoms that they have regularly, and they're not actually, it's not a disorder where it actually affects your life. But as far as blaming anything on it goes, I totally agree with some dumb American. I completely agree with her, because you have to, I mean, and all of you guys said it pretty much, you have to own up to it, even if you have some, like, I've got a pretty complex mental disorder. I've got a few. My actions are still my actions, even though I go manic and I've got fugue states where I don't remember anything, I still take accountability for what I did during those times.
Yeah, I think, being depressed, and I'm just talking about, like, I'll just, like I said, limit it to simple mental disorders, simple quote unquote. But, when you're depressed and stuff like that, you're not mentally disabled. You're still an adult. And like I said, one of the best ways to get better for most people is to learn how to function within their disorder and how to make it work. And you have to do that, or else you're just not going to be able to live your life. And part of being an adult is taking responsibility for it, because it sucks, because you basically have to fix a problem that you didn't cause.
Right.
But once you get over feeling sorry for yourself, then it's time to function as a person. And then it gets so much easier too as time goes on, and it starts to become more second nature to respond to things normally, even if it takes you a second to do it. And then, like, once you can really function pretty much normally and manage it really well, I mean, that's one of the best feelings ever.
Right. It definitely is. And I think having a lot of self-knowledge is key to that. And having knowledge of your disorder, but knowledge that actually comes from a licensed professional. Because I learned a lot from my psychiatrist, and that made me more self-aware of who I am and why I'm acting the way that I am. And sometimes I'm able to curve that behavior because I know what's coming.
Yeah, that's what I did too, because I've been seeing my psychologist for a very long time, and I haven't been clinically depressed for like 3 years. But it took me a while, and it took me kind of coming out of my teens to really get to the place where I could act like an adult and really modify my behavior. But even sometimes, there are some times where my first reaction is to do something that would make more sense for like the depressed version of me. But you have to like stop yourself, and you have to, go through the motions and then get yourself to a more stable reaction, and then you go from there. And it gets so much easier. It's not easy, but it gets easier. And, like I said, eventually it just kind of starts to become second nature. I mean, obviously you're not going to be perfect, but you can pretty much function as though you don't have a disorder, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting to, is to be able to function like it doesn't exist at all, which makes me feel good. It makes me feel normal for the first time.
Yeah. I'll never forget the first time that like I realized that I was upset, but like on a normal scale and for like a normal reason. I was like, oh my God, I'm having a bad day. This is the best thing ever. Because it was just like a normal bad day, right? It wasn't like something that had anything to do with depression. I was just kind of cranky, and I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Yeah, this is what normal is like.
Yeah, that happened to me shortly after I started taking medication. I mean, one of the problems I had when I first started taking it was that in my case, I really lucked out. It acted like a magic bullet. I mean, in the first couple of weeks after taking it, the static, the anxiety, all the stuff just kind of faded away. And so for the first month or so of taking it, I was walking on eggshells going like, okay, is this placebo? Is this all psychosomatic? Am I just inducing this and the next shoe's going to drop tomorrow kind of thing? And as time went on, it get worse. I could still feel the wisps of it at the edge of my mind, so to speak. Like I still knew it was like out there. So, you know, it was just threatening to come back if I didn't maintain. But as far as like the functional day, all the garbage was pretty much turned down. And then something bad happened during the course of a day, something that was decidedly bad. And my old like internal mechanisms were getting ready for, okay, we're going to freak out. We have to manage this.
Right.
And we didn't. And we didn't. I mean, we got upset, but it wasn't like an overblown upset. And then it kind of went away. And I thought, is this what normal feels like? Because I'd gone 20 years not knowing, you know, any different than making every molehill into a mountain, like every day. So when it stopped happening and I noticed it stopped happening, I got paranoid, like, okay, when's it going to hit? When's it going to hit? It's got to happen sometime, right? I mean, it's faded away now, but it's coming back. So there's still that sensation of being uncertain about how I react to things emotionally because my emotions have been so unreliable in the past because of that. I've gotten used to it, but at the same time, I don't want to get too used to it. Like if I build up a tolerance to the medication or something else happens. So it's much better, but the old instincts don't really go away.
I agree.
I'm not
my
meaning to be
medication.
quiet here. I just have no experience with any of this.
Yeah, Monkey's not sad. He's always
think-
he's always emotionally stable.
I think the important thing is that, like, if you know, I don't know, if you're somebody listening and you're having issues, I think the important thing to keep in mind is that, like, you know, it's definitely possible to come out of it. It takes work, but it's something that you can absolutely do, and you can live a completely normal life. And if you can get to that point, it's pretty great. Like 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a intense behavioral therapy coming up, and I'm looking forward to seeing how I act after that, because this is supposed to be like the end all be all for people with my disorder. So I'm hoping that this is gonna change my life.
That's good. Yeah, This is what I'm going through now is a comparative paradise as compared to the 20 years previous. So it's all a matter of perspective.
All right. I mean,
thank you, Terry Diamantis. Given Monkey's catchphrase, it seems ironic that he's the only one who's not sad.
True.
Yeah, I guess that is true. That is true. Let's see. Well, since we have a guest, why don't we open it up to chat time early today? So, chat, if you have questions for our guest, if you have questions for us, if you have comments, other things you'd like to talk about, we're given an extra buffer of time today to cover stuff. So, go ahead and hit us up. And if there are any other competing live streams going on right now, of course, as we always say, there is no advantage to going over there and bugging them about tongue-buttered turtle caves. Just don't do it. Don't do it.
We do not endorse such behavior.
Do you endorse tongue-buttering turtle caves, Angie?
Because of how that sounds, I'm going to say no.
It's exactly how it sounds.
You are a wise person. The highlight of my month so far was hearing Sargon of Akkad utter that phrase on one of his live streams.
Awesome.
That is one of the highlights of my my YouTube career at this point. Honestly, I was like, holy shit! But
is cereal soup?
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Thank you. You are the first guest.
How
to say
could
yes.
you? We were supposed to have a sisterhood thing going on.
It's a cold soup. I'm sorry.
Don't get mad at her for being right.
Okay, as long as that is,
I still love you, STA.
as long as that's where it ends.
It's okay. I still love you too.
The conversation ends there. That's all I gotta say. Conversation. No more cereal soup. Just Oh, Academic Cub says someone needs to capture all the other streams that utter that phrase. I was just thinking about that the other day. It'd be an impossible task to soundbite all the instances and try to find them where other content creators have said that. I know Jeff Holiday has said it at least once. I think Blair White has said it at some point. Sargon has. I mean, Sweeper Steven and others of our completely unendorsed agents have made several high-name people utter that phrase over the last several months.
Some of the best reaction. Bearings is still one of the best because he was just so confused by it, and Sugar Tits was like desperate to figure out what the hell it meant.
Yeah, if I had the time and the resources to find each one of those and time code and everything else, I would love to put a montage together of all the Tongue Butter Turtle Cave reactions at this point. But that's a Herculean task, and you know, the only sort of points I could possibly use is like tweets from Sweeper Steven about it, but I have to go back through so many tweet logs. It's just, yeah. So maybe as things proceed from here on out, if I have the idea to tag those when we see them, but oh well. Anyway, scrolling up, Stuttering Soliloquy. What do you know about Gnostic Luciferianism, says Robert Gregory.
You know, not much. I looked into it, and it's not necessarily something I could get behind. And it just wasn't something, it seemed a little bit more like Satan worshiping than actually like caring for yourself, which is why I liked Leviathan Satanism so much. Oh, Peter's in here.
Yeah, Peter says, how is your channel going, Angie?
Terrible. I keep losing subscribers and views.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. It's just going downhill. Like, I upload a video, I lose subscribers. It gets like it's received very well, and no dislikes, but I lose subscribers, and then I now don't get nearly as many views on my videos. I don't know what happened.
Let's see. Oh, Robert Gregory subscribed to you. So, hey, you got one subscriber back.
Thank you.
Jack Cochran says, if Steve Shives meets the Great Wall of China, who is blocking who?
He can't. He couldn't block China because they're marginalized people.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I'm still not blocked.
Bloodwing is asking Ranting Monkey, what do Apple products and the NFL have in common? Oh, I see a joke coming here.
It's going to be some Charger joke, isn't it? Their Chargers suck? Is that what it is?
I think if that's not it, that's a brilliant answer. But we'll find out in a moment. Their Chargers suck, yeah. Oh.
The monkey's not amused.
The monkey's not amused. Your life makes him mad. Let's see.
Yeah, I won't even pretend the Chargers don't suck. They do. It's okay. I'm all right with it.
There's one thing I forgot to mention during YouTube time. I've started collecting. So for Snubbers, like super movie trailer thing that he paid for a while back.
Yeah.
So I've got a sketch of a script done, sort of. I've started collecting clips from movies that I'm going to use because I'm going to attempt to do those face replace things with certain YouTubers' avatars.
Oh, those are fun, yeah.
Yeah, so I got to work on that. I don't know quite how to do it. I've watched a couple of educational things, but it's slowly coming to me. I just have to get it all together. Thank you, Point Curation. Aside, I hope one of you reaches 1 million views on a single video in the next year. Your best work is still ahead of you somewhere.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
I hope so too.
Yeah, sure. I hope so too. If something of ours went viral, regardless of who it is, I'd be very, very happy.
Oh, thank you, Lanny, for subscribing. It means a lot.
Yay. Let's see. What do we have here? Any other questions, guys? We got a lot of time ahead of us. Or deep topics suggestions. Or I could go to the root and try to find one. The root. The root of all evil.
Have you guys done Monkey Dick yet?
We haven't. Go ahead.
Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies. Hit that like button, and whether or not you enjoy our content, please share it.
Okay, where is that story that I tagged earlier today? Because it wasn't a Root article, but it was from the Washington Post, and it might as well have been a Root article. There it is. Okay, so let me open this up. Go ahead.
Who was picking on Canadians? Maladjusted one says we have to fuck off picking on Canadians.
Love you guys, but you really have to fuck off picking on us Canadians.
See, I don't believe you're Canadian. A Canadian would never tell me to fuck off.
Yeah, Canadians
They're too
are far
nice.
more polite than that.
They'd be like, could you please fuck off? You don't have to if you don't want to.
No, they'd say take off, eh?
Take off, eh?
Take off, eh?
We got one from Terry that says, a deep topic, the RWW article that claimed that everyone was a white supremacist, including roaming millennial.
RWW.
I didn't watch it or read it. I skimmed over it, but it's Right Wing Watch is the name of the site.
Oh, right. Okay.
It was a dumb article. I mean, like, if you want your brain to melt, then read it, which I get. I mean, so, like, it's like reading The Root. So, go for it.
Well, here's... Yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, from what I saw, it wasn't very intelligent. Let me put it that way.
Well, speaking of not intelligent articles, here's the one from the Washington Post that I saw today. And when I saw the headline, I could have sworn it was a Root article, but it's not. So here's the headline. I was devastated about Las Vegas, but quietly relieved that the shooter was white.
Oi.
You dick.
This is by Zach Lindley at the Washington Post. Zach Lindley is a poet, performer, freelance writer, community organizer, and activist living in Atlanta. Oh, well,
So
thank you.
he's just unemployed.
Yeah, he's just unemployed. The subheadline is, minorities in America know that there will be fallout if a killer is black, Hispanic, or Muslim.
What do you mean fallout?
It's fallout. It's fallout no matter what. You fucking
White
shot a
people
bunch of people.
All right. On Monday morning, I woke up to the news that innocent people had been killed in another senseless mass shooting. At least 50 people had been killed after a gunman opened fire on thousands attending a country music festival in Las Vegas. And before I could feel fear, grief, or despair, I felt relief that the killer was white. The vast majority of mass shootings in this country are committed by white men. Yet the stereotype of the angry, violent white male has virtually no pull on the social standing or political power of the white male collective. What? Gee, I wonder why. Could it be because not every white guy killed people in Vegas the other day, but one guy did? You motherfucker, you.
White people are bad.
I hate this shit. It's no different than saying, oh, this black guy killed people, therefore all black people are evil. Fucking that.
Well, that's what they're suggesting we do. Is that
I know. It's also racist. But God, okay. Disgruntled white men are almost unanimously recognized as the face of maniacs killing at random, yet whenever there's a new tragedy, it's we black and brown people who rush frantically to Google, hoping the shooter doesn't look like us.
Well, that's just stupid.
After the news broke, I, along with millions of other black folks, because you know that, and people of color, felt that what other people feel, okay? Felt that all too familiar anxiety. It's a discomfort white people have no real frame or reference for, making it easy for them to write it off as racial paranoia, you think? But it's real for us who fit outside the default for cultural and social normalcy. If a white person commits a crime, no one suggests that white people in general are criminally inclined. Have you watched Twitter today? Have you watched the Huffington Post today? Have you read the Washington Post, which you are writing for right now?
Or have you seen the memes about white kids going to school with backpacks? Come on.
Okay, I'm done with that.
There's so many jokes about white people being school shooters and stuff.
Yes.
Like, there's so many jokes out there. And not to mention the fact that, like, out of all the big attacks and stuff, I can't think of the last person that was white, honestly. Who was the last person that made a major attack on people, be it driving their car through a fucking, a crowd or whatever? Like, who was the last person that did this that wasn't a terrorist?
I just love the fact that apparently the biggest concern on people's minds when a bunch of people are killed is whether or not the killer looks like them.
Yeah, and then after that, it's gun rights, you know.
One of us.
Weibo says, Scribe Like, can I get a link to that article? You certainly can. I will post it in here. Depending on how many times you've clicked on the Washington Post this month, you may get a paywall, so you can use a private window that Firefox has to get around that. So the link is in the chat. I'm not going to read any more of it because, like so many other Root articles, it's just a bunch.
It's moronic.
See? But if anybody wanting to do a video on that thing, feel free. I won't be.
I do my videos on everyday feminism because I just love. I love reacting to their filth.
Well, we read one last night, and in the course of reading one of their postings and everything else, SDA got sponsored to go take their white privilege test or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah.
No.
They funded it because obviously it costs money. And so I was like, if you guys give me enough via Super Chat donations tonight, I'll do it and make that video. And, of course, Timothy Seelbeck and a couple of other people gave smaller donations, but he pretty much single-handedly funded the whole thing. So I'm excited to see that. You got a full scholarship.
Exactly.
A full scholarship to the land of feminism.
Everyday feminism. The university of everyday feminism.
She's gonna come back blue-pilled.
Oh God.
No, I am. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna be like, you know what, guys? We've been wrong this whole time.
When you do your video, so you should do it like you start out by saying, "Hey everybody, so I got sponsored to go take this test," and then you sort of like take the test over the course of the video. And all we see is just like screenshots of you taking the test. And then as soon as, well, I know, but whatever, the guidance or whatever it is. And then as soon as you're done with it, you cut back to you and suddenly you've got a blue wig on and you've got like smart girl glasses. You're like, wow, it's changed my life.
You know what? I'll dye my hair for this and everything. And like, I'll take some shots before and then I'll come back with dyed hair and I'll be like, I'm a feminist.
Man, and I wish I could give you, I've got a feminist choker. It says feminist. Because I like to wear my political ideologies around my neck. But
I need that.
Yeah, I got it, and I would totally let you borrow it. But
yeah.
Let's see. Academic Cub says, Ranting Monkey, since you made the comment you don't know anyone that supports machine guns for civilian ownership, on the record, I fully support civilians' rights to own machine guns, says Academic Cub.
All right.
Let's see. They say he was white, and the government never lies, says Freedom Fighter. Well, oh yeah. Did you, Angie and SDA? Did you guys want to trade war stories on Angry MGTOW?
Oh, that's right, Angie. You were
by the way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
How did he trick you into it?
Okay, so I don't know that I was really tricked into it because I was expecting him to be fucking terrible. But he was just like, do you want to stream? And I was like, this will be a shit show. So I was like, yeah. So I was kind of going into it expecting him to be crazy. I didn't think he would accuse me of spreading AIDS on purpose. I will admit that. That was a surprise. But I wasn't under the impression that he would be nice to me or anything like that.
See, I knew nothing about him, and he messaged me. He was like, do you want to stream? And I was like, oh, sure, why not? I'd like to get to know other YouTubers and stuff, and I like to stream. And I was like, I also am not too familiar with MGTOW ideology, so I'd love to talk about it.
Oh, you went into it completely blind?
Yeah, and then everyone's like, he's going to talk about your tits. Yeah. So I wore like, I wore this same shirt just in a different color, and I buttoned it up all the way. And
no, I don't blame you, honestly. Like that, I can't believe, I'm so sorry you went into that blind. Like, I at least kind of knew what was going to happen. I can't imagine having that like sprung on me.
Yeah, no, well, and he goes before the stream started, before we went live, he was like, you know the difference between a persona and the person, right? And I was like, well, yeah, I understand you think women are stupid. Okay. And he's like, okay, well, you know, I get a little loud and I shout and stuff. And I was like, that's okay. If, you know, if you're too mean to me, I'll leave though. But then he like immediately starts fucking screaming at me. And I just sat there and I took it because I was like, you know what? I'm about to make him look like a real fucking idiot if he's going to sit here and scream at me and stuff. I'm going to be super fucking polite back because that's what I always do.
Yeah, I was pretty polite to him, I think. I mean, then he started accusing me of spreading AIDS, and then I was like, because what happened was Jeff saw that I tweeted it out, and he like messaged me on Twitter privately, and he was like, hey, can I have the link? I was like, if this gets crazy, you can have the link. And then once he went into AIDS, I was like, so, Jeff, here's that link you wanted. And he just kind of took over from there. But he actually titled the stream he did with me, and I totally forgot about this, MGTOW Makes a Girl Cry.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that.
I actually kind of forgot about that. So that was, so yeah, I kind of knew what I was getting into going into it.
Mine was MGTOW Makes a Girl Apologize for Feminism, which, like, I don't know how it didn't, his tiny brain didn't wrap around the fact that I was being completely sarcastic. I was saying, I'm so sorry for any hurt that we might have caused you and stuff, and like that was, I was being completely fucking sarcastic. And it's funny too because you can see me, he starts yelling at me, you can see me grab my beer and I just start chugging.
Jacob Setjet says, Summed Up American, didn't he accuse you of riding the cock carousel?
Yes, he did. Yeah,
he did the same to me.
He was like, how many people have you had sex with? Or how many boyfriends have you had? And then I asked him, and I didn't even mean to ask it this way. I was just like, how many have you had? How many dicks have you had? And Monkey, like, that was his favorite thing that I said, and it was a complete accident to say it that way.
Well, that's what he said. He asked you several questions, including how many dicks have you had, and you answered all of them except for that one, and he got all shitty about it. How many dicks have you had? And you asked him, well, how many have you had? And I laughed so fucking hard at that.
Yeah, it was totally clever on accident, but that's okay.
He hasn't had nearly as many as his mom has.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's some mommy issues. I loved the parody I did with Very Nearly Viral, though. That was my favorite. Like, it was fucking hilarious. Like, and not even me. I wasn't even that funny. They were hilarious. Like, I still rewatch that video and laugh at it because it was so funny. Like, and then he would keep insulting me on Twitter afterward. And then I was just like, listen, I know you're trying to get a reaction out of me, and it's not going to happen. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to yell at you, you know, and I'm certainly not going to give you what you want, which is, you know, to act like I'm hurt. Like, none of this affects me. I hear worse at work. You know, I get screamed at all fucking day at work. So, you know, nothing you can do or say to me is really going to bother me. So you should just give up now, dude. It's not going to happen. So then he kept insulting me, and I just kept telling him, I'm like, it's not going to happen, dude. It's not going to happen. And he kept doing it.
What surprised me most was just the complete fucking meltdown that happened afterwards. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah.
That I wasn't ready for. Yeah, and I felt bad for Jeff. I mean, he did message me first, so like it's not like we're still friends and everything, obviously. But I felt kind of bad because then Angry MGTOW went after him, even though it was mostly my fault.
Right. Well, and it's because he can't like handle women. And then I actually got a ton afterward. I got a documentary that I was in. Hasn't aired yet, but I was in a documentary because of it. She found me through him. I got a ton of MGTOWs subscribed to me. Like I got about 100 subscribers afterward. And then I had a ton of MGTOWs message me and apologize and say that they're not all like that. You know, and I even talked to one MGTOW, and I'm talking to him and stuff, and he's like, yeah, and then I think women shouldn't be able to vote. And I'm like, I was completely with you until you fucking said that shit.
Well,
Yeah.
you didn't earn it the way they did by being born male.
Yeah, you know, it's not like women, you know, women didn't want to vote, clearly. And, you know, men fight harder for it and stuff. And I'm just like, well, women would, if feminism actually was fighting for the right things, women would also sign up for the draft, but no one really wants that. I'll be honest and say that I don't want that. I don't want to have to sign up for the draft. But she blew my mind. And I ended up having all this good stuff happen to me afterward, and it was hilarious.
Yeah. What's he even up to these days? I haven't even checked. Like, just.
He still has a YouTube channel because I know I saw because he'll show up my recommended stuff every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a girl I know, Zoda's Life, and I saw her previous video thumbnail as his video thumbnail, and I contacted her and I was like, hey, yo, you might want to check that out. Like, why is he, you know, but he still does YouTube. He's off Twitter after the Edindindro thing.
Oh, after Ed?
Yeah, after that he's off Twitter completely.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about him in quite a long time. I'm assuming he still makes videos, but he hasn't been mentioned at all in the last several months, at least not to me.
Which is just good. It's for the best, honestly. He doesn't need to exist.
Weebo's asking, wait, what happened with Edindro?
When all of that, after SDA's shit show with him, he went to talk with Ed in DMs and said that he was not only going to dox everybody involved, except for Scribe. He likes you, Scribe.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I was nice. I didn't say anything mean. I was just like, hi, what's going on?
He was going to call CPS on Jeff for doing drugs in front of his kids, which has never happened. And Ed was like, you know what? Fuck you. I can't just leave this private when you're making threats like this. So Ed was kind enough to give us all a heads up on that.
Yeah, I amped up all my even though I wasn't involved with the second thing, just in case, I amped up all my internet security and made sure all my VPNs. I actually had my boyfriend, my now boyfriend, try to hack me, just to make sure I couldn't be doxxed.
Yeah, I pretty much, that was kind of when I was like, okay, I need to like make extra sure that nobody can find me when that happened. So yeah, I did the same thing.
Humble Bundle is a really great place for VPNs, by the way. That's where I got mine, and it works really, really well. But I made sure everything was unhackable. I made sure everything was untraceable. I didn't have the location on my phone in the slightest for months. So I didn't fuck around with it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jacob Jet says, Ranting Monkey, isn't he the guy who took screenshots of Angry MGTOW's threat to Jeff?
Yes.
Okay.
What a pathetic human being.
Yeah.
Well, he is. He's got a lot of mommy issues, and he's got the personality of a wet asshole. So,
thank you, Sweeper. The best part of it was Scribe's part of it. Yeah, my popping in and saying hi. How's it going?
You were like hi. I'm like, wow. He wasn't mad at you at all for it. Like,
No,
come
no,
on.
I didn't get on the bad side. I was just like, oh yeah, my friend sent me the link, and I just thought I'd stop in and say hello. He's like, okay. Like I think he was actually kind of shocked. He was expecting like some kind of like shit show or bitch fight or something. I was like, no, sorry. Okay, bye.
I think that's how he he was screaming at me and stuff. He was like screaming about women not being able to vote or whatever, and screaming and stuff. And I just go, okay, well, what's your solution? And he goes silent for like 5 minutes, and then he goes, I know what you're trying to do. And I'm like, have a conversation.
Yeah, it never stops amazing me, and it doesn't matter whether it's Angry MGTOW or and this has happened a couple of videos I've done, a stage full of feminists or women in the workplace supporters or something. When someone asks them point blank, so what would you do to solve this problem? And it's just crickets. It's just silence. There's like a solution. What?
Listen, are you insane?
Well, if I had a solution, then I wouldn't have a job.
Well, you two both really got fucked by Roaming Millennial. She just tore him such a new ass. It was so funny watching that. I
couldn't find that stream. He must have deleted it.
He did. When he pulled down his channel and he put it back up, there were several things he didn't put back up there.
Oh, he didn't put my stream back up because everyone in the comments, he was like, everyone thinks that you're 30 or whatever because you've ridden the cock carousel and you look all worn out and you're disgusting and you smoke and shit. And I looked at the comments. There's one comment that says that. The rest are like, dude, she was just trying to talk to you. I don't know why you had to act that way. Like,
because he doesn't know how not to.
It had more dislikes than likes. So I think he got a little mad at me.
Got to check in on him. I haven't thought about him in a while.
Yeah, just when we were talking about before the stream, I was like, oh yeah, Angry MGTOW.
I don't know if I'm following SD on Twitter, but I should.
Yes, you should. And anybody in the chat, if you're not already...
You're not following me on Twitter? How dare you?
I don't think I am.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're in the chat and you're not currently
I actually don't think I'm following you either.
Us on Twitter, all of our Twitter stuff is in the description as well as our channel links. If you want to keep in the loop with the Lords of the Night streams, it is recommended you subscribe to Monkey SDA and my channel. And also hit the bell. Hit the bell button. We've had several instances I've heard from people that say, you know, your stream link didn't show up in my subscription stream or feed or stuff like that. I can't prevent whatever the hell YouTube is doing on a day-to-day basis, but for every little button they give you to try to alert you to something going on, by all means, click it if you got it. Let's see. So yeah, we got 20 minutes or so left, guys, a little less. If you have questions for us or for our guest or anything else you'd like us to talk about in the last few minutes, please post it now. Tomorrow we will be on Monkey's channel if everything stays on schedule. Let's see. And also, if everything stays on schedule on Sunday, Monkey and I will be discussing Tombstone because my copy of the director's cut arrived today. So I now have the super duper deluxe version of Tombstone to watch.
Oh, I don't know what that is, but
it's a Western. Monkey and I do little movie review dissections on Sundays now, alternating between our channels. And so last week we did one of my favorite Westerns, which was Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven. And then this coming weekend, we plan to do his favorite Western, which is Tombstone. Let's see. Skeptalk says, did you guys see Jimmy Kimmel's teary monologue about the shooting? I've heard about it. I haven't seen it myself.
That's actually the video I was working on because it's just so bad. It's so bad.
Okay.
It is emotional bullshit. That's what it is. I don't doubt that his tears are real. I have a problem with him suddenly having such an issue with loss of life because, and I hate to do this, but when it's, you know, he didn't have a thing to say about Nice, not a fucking thing.
Yeah.
And I looked everywhere I could to find Jimmy Kimmel's heartfelt, you know, conversation about how we should deal with terrorists, and there's nothing there. In fact,
did he say anything about Orlando?
Well, he did. Well, he mentions that it's kind of fucked up the way he does it. Because he gets out there and he says, this horrible, inexplicable act, the worst gun violence since the last one, which was in Orlando. I'm like, okay, I understand what you mean by inexplicable, but we have an explanation for Orlando.
Right.
Yeah.
We know what happened there.
Real quick, thank you, Point Curation. Did we see Jordan B. Peterson's Disability Bureaucracy Wants Your Soul?
I have not.
I have not either. Is that a lecture he gave? I'm assuming. Let's see.
But I love him.
Let's see. Dark Star Insomniac says which Nice? Nice, France, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. The one of the first truck of peace attacks. Driving down the road in a truck of peace.
More lives than what happened in
86, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. And then 400 people injured.
Yeah. I mean, not that body counts or scorecards or things, but yeah, if you want to talk about the scope of a attack, and you're going to be talking about one thing or the other. They weren't talking about van control after Nice.
No.
Let's see. Point says Scribelight's video he put out recently was good. Okay, I will see if I can take a look for it. Need something to listen to while I'm working on ads tomorrow. Let's see. Let's see. Bloodwing says my grandson put us $200 in the hole buying game stuff on our phone. Yeesh.
Oh,
that's damn. Yeah, child lock that thing.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly why I don't have kids.
Make Europe Strong again says it's BS. Jimmy Kimmel is getting talking points and crocodile tear lessons from Chuck Schumer.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw it, but CNN has called Jimmy Kimmel. They have an article, how Jimmy Kimmel became the conscience of America.
Oh, God. Seriously?
Yes.
God, no, actually, I'm not surprised. Never mind.
He had the healthcare thing the other day.
That's right.
Now, he's coming out against the shooting. Yeah, because who wouldn't come out against the shooting?
That's very, very brave. Very, very brave of Jimmy Kimmel to speak out against shooting people. Yeah, very, very, very brave, Jimmy. God, what a hero. People. What a hero. Let's see. Oh, yeah. How is the Grand Monkey?
Oh, my God. Lady Monkey had to go into the office today. And we came downstairs to go outside. And usually Lady Monkey's working down here. She goes, where's Grandma at? I'm like, well, she had to go into the office. She looks at me. She goes, does she have to get fixed? No, sweetie. She just had to work there today.
She had to get fixed.
Does she have to get fixed?
Where'd you get that from?
I don't know. Apparently, Grandma needs fixed.
Oh, okay. That's where Grandma goes to get fixed. All right.
It was just so cute. Oh, and then we were outside. Oh my God, she was riding her mini bike, and I got a little too close to some high grass, and apparently there was a chipmunk in there. And the chipmunks on my property, they're not friendly, but they're not. They don't mind people too much as long as you don't get too close to them.
Sure.
Well, I got too close, and he comes running at me and then turns and runs towards one of our vehicles. And he sees Grand Monkey there, and he just stops at the tire and stands up and just starts yelling at us. And he turns and runs away. So for the rest of the time she was with me, she kept telling me she scared the purple chipmunk. I don't know how he got purple, but yeah, she scared
the purple chipmunk. Oh man,
the chipmunks here, they're funny. There was one day I was sitting out on the porch, and one comes running around the corner at top speed, which startled me. And he sees me, and he gets startled. He starts chattering, turns and runs the other way, and I about had a heart attack.
Yeah.
And then a couple minutes later, he comes around the corner again and just walked by. I'm like, you are an ass.
Make your Stragan ask, was it Alvin the chipmunk?
No, it's Chip. We call him Chip.
Oh, Chip and Dale. Okay. You're gonna put a little pilot's coat on him and a fedora?
If I could, I would.
A bomber jacket. Jack Cochran says chipmunks are dicks.
They are.
No, they're not around here. If they are, I never see them. So,
do you know why Chip and Dale were dressed that way for the cartoon?
It wasn't like Miami Vice. No. I mean,
Nope.
Magnum PI or something.
Chip is Magnum PI, and Dale is dressed up as Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you mean Chip is Indiana Jones and Dale is Magnum PI.
No, Dale's the one. Wait, now I'm confused.
Yeah, now you're confusing me. Chip and Dale. Which is Chip and which is Dale? I thought Chip was Indiana Jones and Dale was the one with the Magnum PI. Dale's the red-nosed one and Chip is the yeah. Okay, I wasn't wrong. Good.
Squirrels are worse than chipmunks. I don't like squirrels, and luckily we don't have very many around here anymore.
Oh, do you know the inspiration for Tailspin?
No, I've heard it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, so it was. I think it was called either Tales of or Legend of the Golden Monkey. It was this adventure TV show that took place on a tropical island, and it had to do with like flying a cargo plane around, and they were always looking for this idol and kind of thing. It was a quasi Indiana Jones sort of like TV series, like every character in that show in some way, shape, or form is represented, at least in spirit, in Tailspin. And so the first time I saw Tailspin, because I used to watch that TV show way back in the early 80s or whatever when I was a kid, and then when Tailspin came on, I thought, I've seen this before. It took me a long time to figure it out. I didn't have the internet back then, so it was like, what is this? Yeah. Let's see. Dark Alile says, Chip gets his name from his nose, which is a chocolate chip.
Oh, cool.
If you say so. Magnum, Terry Diamante says, Magnum 3.141, blah, blah, blah. Yes, Magnum PI.
I'll be right back.
Har. What?
Okay. She said she'd be right back.
Okay, gotcha. Let's see. Captain Bramble says, once in a while I see albino squirrels around my house.
Cool.
I think that might be a sign in some cultures of the end of the world.
Indeed.
Let's see.
Yeah, Bloodwing said he used to shoot chipmunks. I like the chipmunks. I do. They're funny. I like when they yell at me. I really do.
There was one of those videos you could get like mail order way back when called like I think it was called like Exploding Varmints or something, and it was a video of nothing but people like shooting groundhogs and chipmunks and things and filming it. And it's one of the most depraved little sports videos you'd ever see. I think you can find it on YouTube, but it's just sadistic because you just see these little animals explode, and it's
May I vent about something really quick?
Of course.
So the people that live here used to be fucking drug dealers, like heroin and pot. And they grew in the basement and stuff. And I apparently scared away SVA. And so for the first like month of living here, I've had people pulling up in my driveway and like trying to come up to my door. One person just let themselves in through the gate and everything. And I just had somebody come into my mudroom and knock on my fucking door looking for another fucking person.
Just now?
They just went into my mudroom. Yeah, halfway into my fucking house. And
have you thought about selling them oregano?
It's a good idea. Like, I'm pissed. I'm sick of this shit.
Or putting a lock on the door?
Well, the one door does have a lock, but basically there's no point in locking it because there's a dog door and we don't have the key for it because the original owners got really high, not owners, renters got high and lost the keys. So there's no way to unlock it.
So get the landlord to call a locksmith?
Oh, I own the house now.
Oh, okay. Call a locksmith.
I'm gonna do that once I switch the door because there's a dog door.
Oh, okay.
That's open, so it's like there's no point if somebody wants to get in, they're fucking getting in. People trying to open my doors and stuff, like.
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy.
The only reason I didn't bitch him out is because I was busy, but like.
Oh, Maladjusted One says, Scribelight Ranting Monkey, can you guys make sure to put the links you post in chat into the video for us poor people who miss the stream? It's hard to remember everything that I put into the chat by this point. I should make that a habit.
Yeah, I've had people ask before if we would, link all the stories, and it's I would love to, but by the time we're done, I forget all about it.
Tell you what, Maladjusted, I will try, at least the next time that's on my channel, of course, I will try to remember to update the description with links that we post into the chat. I will do my best. You'd be surprised how hard it is to remember a lot of little details and things when you're doing this live and talking, and when the chat's going by real quick, and then you go from one idea to the next. But no, you're not wrong. I mean, if people listening to this want to be able to reference things, the best I can suggest otherwise is when I read a article and I read the headline, that is the headline. If you just Google the headline, you'll find the story. So that's the only other reference point I can give you if I do forget to do that.
And the other thing you can do if it's MSS stories, those we never take down. We don't post it forever. Yeah, so go to Twitter and look up the hashtag MSS News, and all the stories that we do read, even if we don't get to them all, they'll be on that feed. You just have to scroll through and look for the ones that that just posted in the last 24 hours. Let's see what else we got. We got a 5-minute warning, guys. So that effectively comes down to about a 4-minute warning. So about a 3-minute warning, because it'll take us a minute or two to wrap up. So any other final questions or anything? Send us. BG says, "I can see it. You forget if you peed or not." That's true. It is.
I'm sorry. What?
Oh, chat often has to remind me to pee.
Did we lose SDA at some point? Did I miss something?
Yeah, she dropped out. I said I must have scared her off when I started talking about people coming to my door.
Oh, she just sent us a note. She's having mad audio issues on her end, so she dropped out. Okay, well, that sucks. Hope those get fixed between now and tomorrow. But well, thank you for joining us, SDA, as a preamble. Lanny Stanfield says, I haven't been paying attention. I'm still arguing with Brie Larson and her clan. Who's Brie Larson?
That name sounds familiar.
I know that name, Brie Larson.
Check your Twitter DMs, monkey, I guess.
I haven't really had Twitter on much today.
Lanny, remind me who Brie Larson is, because I know that name, and I've heard it before. I just don't remember. Is she like on the Michael Rowland side of things or something? Okay, so
my DMs? Is that what it said?
I guess. Let's see. Isn't that the tire bitch? Oh, is that the tire girl? The girl who was talking about her tires were being slashed? Oh, Brie Larson's going to be Captain Marvel. That's right. Brie Larson, the actress. You're arguing with Brie Larson about her and her clan. About what? Okay, you're arguing with a celebrity. That's always fun. I don't know much about her, except I've seen her interviewed by Craig Ferguson a couple of times, and she seemed funny-ish. So I'm curious. Okay, 2-minute warning, guys, which just about means we're wrapped up for the night. So I will keep an eye out for any last-minute questions or anything. But preamble to all that. Oh, yeah, the tire girl is Laura Loomer. That's right.
Oh, Laura Loomer and her fucked up tires. That is still one of the funniest things. Why? There's no reason to lie about that.
Does Brie Larson tongue butter turtle caves? Well, that is a question for the ages that I won't endorse one way or the other. Okay. Chat, thank you so much for coming out tonight, as you always do. Really appreciate you coming out and
you guys are awesome.
Keeping us on our toes, and especially when days are a little gray, a little blue, or otherwise, you always cheer us up. Thank you to everybody in the chat who is a moderator with your wonderful blue wrenches and keeping an eye on things for us and being our hall monitors. Thank you so much to everybody who donated tonight. I'll be working very hard tomorrow to make sure I get all the ads done ahead of time for YouTube time tomorrow. Monkey and SDA, of course, thank you for joining me. Angie, thank you so much for coming out and being our guest tonight. Really appreciate that.
Oh, no. Thank you for having me anytime. I'd love to do it again. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and thanks for contributing. And everybody, if you haven't already looked at Angie's channel, Stuttering Soliloquy, link to it is in the description, as well as her Twitter, if you'd like to follow her. And yeah, tomorrow night we'll be on Monkey's channel if all things stay scheduled. And I think that's all the news that's fit to print tonight, guys. So have a good night, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.